Hey, nobody drives in LA. Happy Valentine's Day. Before we get into your stories, we're going to do a Zoom happy hour on March 23rd, World Climate Day. We'll let you know when we have a time set, but it'll be that day. So, dating is weird and awkward, right? And LA is not an easy place to get around. So, we wanted to hear how you, our listeners, navigate the dating space without a car. Before we get into it, I'll share a quick story from when I lived in Pennsylvania up in the country, where we won't be getting the concept of a bus for another 70 years. I was doing community theater, Shakespeare in the Park in Scranton, which was about an hour drive. And I had just started a relationship with someone who does not drive. And I thought they were just going to go to the last performance with our friends from work who all live in the same town. And imagine my surprise when on the first night at the first show, she showed up. This was perplexing because there are no buses that go between Honesdale and Scranton. There are no trains. It's way too far to walk. This was in 2016, and we did not have any ride shares in this town. I think even now there might only be one person who ride shares for the entire county. It's very, very behind the times. And I was so thrilled. Turns out she booked the one cab to see my Shakespeare in the Park community theater play, where I was just playing a whatnot background character. I was not doing anything impressive at all. When you don't have a car, you really have to put in effort to see your person, to go out and go places. Now, to philosophize a little bit, you really have to care for someone to brave an hour on the 33 bus to make it to a date. On the flip side, I think it's really romantic when you take the train down to meet your person, or you go home on the train and walk them back to their place after a date. You have to put in the effort, and to me, effort and time spent is so important, and it's special. Dating car-free is a vibe. But enough musing from me. To kick us off and seg between our stories, here's Colin.
We wanna be there, yeah. It's Santa Clara, yeah.
And now our first story from someone I know very, very, very well, who wrote the captions for our Valentine's Day conversation hearts, and who took me on my first explore a city without a car adventure ever as an adult. Here's Kat.
Okay, so I hope it's okay that this story does not take place in LA. This happened maybe about 10 years ago when I was living in Portland, Oregon. For context, I am very, very afraid of rats, like absolutely terrified. One time when I was in Portland, I was taking the bus home from work, and it was a really long day. Really, really long day. And all I wanted to do was like get home, have something to eat, go to sleep. Like that was it. Excuse the cat there. He wants to chime in a little. But truly, I wanted to get home more than almost anything. But just as the bus was approaching it, Hollywood Transit Center, shout out, I saw a rat and I was so scared. I ran into the 24-hour fitness that was there. Thank God it was 24-hour, and just hid inside the lobby, watching and waiting for this rat to go away. Then eventually the rat went away. Like 20 minutes later, another bus came, and I got home even more tired and shook by that rat, which is just all to say, like for context, how afraid I was of a rat. That was not the date. Maybe a few months later, I was on this date with this guy that I really liked at the time, and it was going really well. We decided, I don't remember if he had a car or not. I've never been able to drive, never had a car. But for some reason, we were walking along Hawthorne, again, shout out Portland, and decided we were going to take the bus to our next location because I guess we had met up without cars. So we were going to wait for the bus. We walked to this bus stop, and then a rat scurried out of the bushes nearby, ran right across my feet. And I will say I was wearing open-toed shoes. And I looked down at my feet and I looked at that man and I said, that was a rat. And he said, that was a rat. And in that moment, I knew that my desire to be perceived as cool was greater than my fear of rats. That was really more of a rat story than a transit story, but I hope you enjoyed it, and happy Valentine's Day.
We wanna be there, yeah. It's Santa Clara, yeah.
Hey, nobody drives in LA. This is Kristen, and this is a love story about how a bike helped me pick up my husband. So the year is 2008, and I had just moved to Austin from Brooklyn. So I rode a lot of bikes when I was in Brooklyn, and I'm in Austin. I see this cute guy down the bar. He looked really cute. He had kind of like this bike messenger vibe. And I meander over and I have liquid courage, and he says hi, and I say, hi, you look like you ride a bike. And he says, oh, I do, because I don't have a car anymore. Anyway, flash forward 18 years and we're still riding bikes together. We commute every single day together to downtown LA, and we help lead a bike bus for our 9-year-old school. Our very favorite thing to do when we travel is to rent bikes and bike around. We've ridden together in Los Angeles, where we live, in New York, in Amsterdam, London, Paris, Mexico City. So the couple that bikes together stays together.
We wanna be there, yeah. It's Santa Clara, yeah.
I realize that I have dated car-free people and that I've been the car-free person in relationships, but I've never been in a relationship in which the two of us were car-free since college. College was such a long time ago for me now that I can't really remember very many specific dates, but one stands out, and it was a car-free date. We were both car-free, as I think I mentioned. But just like now, I was also employed as a delivery driver, in this case for a florist. And a lot of my deliveries involved me visiting Iowa City's various hospitals to deliver flowers to patients usually. And in the process of going to these hospitals, I discovered that there was an extensive network connecting a lot of the hospitals and hospital-related buildings. I planned a date where my girlfriend at the time and I rode the bus to a hospital building, and then we entered one hospital building, and I tried to create the longest possible route through these subterranean tunnels so that she would be thoroughly disoriented. And then we emerged in another hospital building where I treated her to a meal in the hospital cafeteria. And it might not sound super romantic, but just exploring, I don't know, something about being in a hospital when you have no, quote unquote, proper reason for being there just made me feel like this heightened state of like I'm trespassing or something. It's very exciting for me. And I don't know, I just like liminal spaces, and it was just this weird subterranean world. Anyway, after our romantic dinner at the cafeteria, I took her to this room I had discovered on my deliveries, the meditation room, which I think is still there. And it was this small, dark room with lots of wood and pews and what's a pulpit. There's quiet organ music playing, recorded organ music playing. You sit in the pews and you look at these panels in front of you, and they have these sort of miasmic shapes that slowly move and change colors in a way that's both quasi-psychedelic and like super square. So I just thought that was a really romantic way to end a date. Now, as for the present, most people that know me hopefully know that my approach to encouraging car freedom is sort of similar to the way that I try to encourage people to be meat free. I try, in other words, not to be didactic or preachy or scoldy. I don't throw statistics at people generally. I don't encourage debate or argument. I just try to model a way of being that is honest and acknowledges that it's sometimes a challenge. I still miss barbecue chicken, and sometimes I think having a car would make getting around a lot easier. But I also think that one of the things that separates humans from other animals is that we can make decisions that are at odds with our baser urges if it means not contributing to the melting of glaciers or the destruction of other life forms. So now, one of the things that I do to encourage going car-free more often is to suggest car-free dates. And in order to aid in making car-free dates, I made a Google map, all the restaurants, bars, and cultural amenities that are within an easy walk of my place. or within a short bike trip or a single seat bus trip, my offer for the dates is that I will pay for anything and everything if we walk, bike, or take the bus. But if we have to take a car, we're going to split it. So the offer is always open. And to me, it's a fun way to get to know your neighborhood and to learn about the things that you can find along transit routes. And I will say that, cars can have a romantic mood too, but looking for parking cannot. Whereas going for a walk with someone that you're dating, or a bike ride, or even a bus ride or train ride is just, in my opinion, so much more romantic.
Okay, y'all, last time you heard me talk about my Tustin train station love story, and I'm here with the man himself now, Gabe.
Yep, that's me, the legend himself. The man that has been spoken of in her tales of Tustin. So you want me to talk about the 17, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so basically the 17 has been playing a very large part in our life because it's one of the main lines that we use to transit to several of our date spots. So the two big locations that it takes us are first off, the Sawtell area. There's just a load of good food that you can choose there, and on a very regular basis, I'd say like almost weekly at this point, we go down there, take the 17, and the great thing about that area is that there's a large selection of like ramen places and then also sweet treats as well. And the other place that we go to using the 17 is the Culver City Steps.
Which we're actually at right now.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. We just had our Valentine's Day date here, and then, there's a Phil's that we hit up pretty regularly, and then also a Pop's Bagel. So, yeah, it's been great having the 17 be a line that we can take to multiple parts around town, and it's been great just having access to that because it's really made a big impact on our dating life.
Yeah, yay! Shout out the 17. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Okay, bye.
We're going to keep the story submission form open. So if you have any car-free dating stories or other fun or harrowing tales you'd like to share with us, we'll put them in an episode. These listener submission episodes are very fun for me as an editor, so please keep them coming. And big thanks to everyone who submitted. And we hope you all have a lovely car-free Valentine's Day.